What's going on? What's going on, y'all? Man, it's quite the whirlwind of a weekend. Whirlwind of the day, honestly. Let's get our third member in here. It's the season finale of New York football talk. This might be the most important cup of tea in New York. I need this very badly. I have absolutely no voice. By now, let's who we can. These guys don't need any introduction. Coach Mac from Move the Change, Jared Valluzzi, Uzzi Sports. Jared, you're already back in Boston, man. Just tell
Yeah.
us about your Sunday in New York, man.
Oh my goodness, dude. I was so happy, that I was able to stay that long and wow. PSAL championships absolutely special. And the Sunday I was there for 1A game crazy, 4A game is I mean, I'm like still at loss for words and it's been a day. That it's going to be talked about forever. And yeah, definitely one of the craziest games I've ever been to and wow, hats off to both teams. Insanity.
Mac, just what's going on, my guy? Just your thoughts on the weekend as a
Long
whole,
weekend.
and of course that finale.
Um, yeah, man. Just looking back on it, crazy, crazy weekend. Uh, all games, tight games. Um, yeah, we're gonna get into it. Just the atmosphere and commentating on Sunday was definitely an experience that I enjoyed. And being back at Midwood, was looking for Monty. I see Monty's in here early today. Monty, I was at Midwood. I'm looking for you high and low. I'm not sure if you pulled a no show, but yeah, man, it was a great day.
Listen, man, we honestly have no time to waste. Of course, we're not starting our usual 7:15. I literally raced from Brooklyn to make it here, but I just yo. So the mic did pick it up.
Yo,
The mic did pick
Dude, I
up.
heard, yeah,
The
someone told me
crowd
about
tried to break into the booth, like literally. They saw Coach Mac picks. They're like, "Ah,
yo,
Mac is in there."
that was crazy.
Yo, the booth was absolutely crazy. Listen, Gotti says, let's get to it. Listen, man, first of all, like I said, we're late, but this number right here, I put it on the Instagram. This kid right here did a great job contributing to this huge
Deli, great
day.
game, man. Great
Mr.
game.
Brown.
Yeah, big time, big time.
I mean, let me check the stream now. I think we're at 16K.
Yeah, last time I checked, it was
Just
at 15.
incredible, man. Let's see, did we break 16? We're at 16K, man.
It's crazy, man. It's
So
crazy.
only 500 away from 17 and just a little over 24 hours, man,
Wow, wow.
It's just crazy. I think that everyone in this live stream, not just the three hosts, but everybody watching, I think we all have a hand in this number. Of course, the players for sure. All praise to the players. Um, Real quick, I'm just gonna say be light on the players, please, because
Yeah,
like we said on the stream yesterday, these young men, it's their history that we all have a part in. So win or lose, you know, we owe everything to E Hall, to Curtis, to to Grady, to Jamaica, FJM, Eagle, Brooklyn Tech, Fort Hamilton, because they put on an absolute show. So just in like a 10-second timeout just to remove that from the stream. But first of all, I'm just gonna go to Mac first. As a PSAL alum, to see these numbers, what comes to your mind?
Progression and to see how far PSAL football has come. Championship day was always like a big thing, but with this platform allowing people who can't make it to see at home, people from all over, it's crazy. I was seeing some of the parents from both teams saying they send a stream out to family members that was in Florida, in Texas, and just being able to provide that experience for everyone is it's crazy. I kind of lost my voice from yesterday and today at work screaming. Um, it's crazy, man. It's definitely a great experience. I was against the 4 championships at first. Now I'm not too opposed to it. It gives.
Monty.
I think he's actually serious. I think he's dead serious.
Lost the playoff game? Wow. Yeah,
Yeah, 17, 18, something like
it probably has been a while, actually. Yeah, you probably were 10.
that.
No, you probably was 10. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah, man, this was a great weekend. This was a great weekend. Shout out to all of the kids. Um, Most importantly, shout out to all of the supporters and fans that came. As far as I know, there was no kind of drama, nothing too serious at least. That was amazing to see. Um, just showing it's all about the kids. Adults, it's not about you. It's not your time. Your time has passed. Let the kids enjoy and just make it a great experience for everyone.
Jared, and I let me not just go so fast off of Mac's point because I think that also needs kudos as well. Like it was packed wall to wall in Midwood, and there were no major issues. Everyone was there for the right reasons. Shout out to the Midwood staff locking the commentator booth. We might have had some invaders.
Yeah, for real.
We might have had some invaders, honestly. Um, but and I saw a comment on the video on the stream, and it said that one of the best things that it was such a chippy game, the 4A final, and everybody shook hands. It was all good at the end. So Jared, coming from the same place I came from, coming from the Catholic League, seeing how the Catholic League do it, and I guess I was kind of wondering how to say this, but you guys can look at it yourself. Um, this live stream dwarfed the Catholic League live stream. And I only say that just because, first of all, it's truth. Second of all, it's just, I feel like it's such a achievement for the PSAL, especially from where, we're coming from, of course. So Jared, just seeing these numbers, being a part of it, just talk about it all.
Man, it's special. I remember actually because last year you had the championship, but the 2 years prior, 2021 and 2022, when E Hall beat Curtis and Canarsie, I was away at school those years, and there was no way for me to watch it. I had to literally wait until the game was over and just read online. Erasmus Hall won 21-0, and that was it. And I'd wait for huddle film, and the fact that thousands of people were in that position this week, but they actually got to watch it. It's truly special. And being able to capture this moment, the game itself is incredible. But what you guys said about the atmosphere is really what I want to get into. Yeah, of course it was chippy, high energy during the game. It was awesome, but afterwards, no dumb stuff, no fighting, whether it's on the field or in the crowd. at least from what I know of, and that was awesome. And definitely, when we talk about best atmospheres that I've ever been around for a football game, that's got to be, you know, making an argument for the top of the list. Like it was truly incredible, and I was so happy that so many people in the city came, people from different teams, people all the supporters, alumni, whatever. It was amazing.
Yeah, man. So just a huge shout out to everyone. Like I said, we're gonna move a little quickly. I know we don't have that much time. But first of all, y'all, the football season is not over. There's one more game, the Riley Classic All-Star game, powered by my guy, Coach Mack, right down here. It's at the Nest at 777 Rutland. It will be on Sage Media as well, but it's the last chance to celebrate this amazing class of 2025. So if you can make it, honestly, get in there, support the kids. Mac, you want to say anything else on this?
Yeah, man. This game should be really good. I believe we're giving the uniforms out Wednesday. Um, so yeah, this is super excited for this weekend. The kids are pumped. I have so many kids. I have so many kids DMing me, asking about practice information. They just need to talk to their head coach of their school, and their head coach should have all the information that they need.
All right, man. Let's just get into it, man. Let me rebound. Let's get into this, y'all. This was the cherry on top, the climax of the greatest PSAL season, honestly. I am labeling it the greatest PSAL season. If you want to argue with me, you better come with your stats because I have a digital encyclopedia of evidence on my side. You know what I'm saying? That's what's amazing about YouTube, why live streaming is so important. Two overtime thriller, 27-26. Curtis knocking off the five-time defending champions. Also, I didn't know this leading up into the game. This was championship number 8 for Curtis as a program.
I saw that.
Yeah.
So, Mac, again, PSAL alumni, I have to let you go first, man. Your
All right.
thoughts.
All right. I want to start off by saying, stop. Just the supporters, the parents, the friends of parents, the coaches on the couch. Just stop.
Oh, one more time. One more time for the coaches on the couch. I don't think they heard you.
On the couch, stop. Woulda, coulda, you woulda did this, you woulda did that. Just stop, man. I'm reading on Facebook, like, some of you guys are just, and I understand, we're in a world where you have a social media platform, you can say what you want on your social media platform. That's what your social media platform is for. You're free to say whatever you want. But my advice is, if you've never been in that position, just try to refrain from speaking on what you should have did or what you would have did or what they should have did. Just stop, please. This everybody has the right answers after the fact. Everybody. You're gonna sound like a genius after the fact. That's just how it is. It already happened. So when it doesn't go right, you're gonna say, "Oh, they should have did this. They should have did that." If the option play for Amir Murrow would have went south, and didn't go as planned or didn't work, you guys would have been online. Oh my God, how can they run this play? Why didn't they throw the ball? It would have just been like, just stop, man. Just please stop. Nobody sits online and says, "Oh, if I was the president, I would have did this and that." No, so don't come on, man. Just don't do that. It's not fair to the coaches that's coaching in the game. It's not fair to the coordinators that's putting together a game plan that has to make decisions on the spot. Like if you don't know how it is to be in that position, of course you can critique. It's nothing wrong with critiquing, but don't say what you would have done. Don't, because you haven't been in that spot yet. You haven't coached in a 4A championship game. You haven't. So don't come on. Just please. I want to take my hat off to both teams. I think both teams played great football, made amazing adjustments. The kids fighting to the end. It's Munchie.
I ain't gonna lie, that was funny.
Some do, and I mean, you learn from experience. You learn from what works, what doesn't work. The kid he was knocking extra points down the whole game. So I'm not saying it's a no-brainer, but why not go for another extra point? It just doesn't. It doesn't make sense. But yeah, I want to take my hat off to both teams, both coaching staffs. From the before the coin toss, both teams were worked up. This was a Staten Island versus Brooklyn matchup, which was great. It was even more exciting that Erasmus had kids on their roster from Staten Island. So some of those kids grew up with the kids from Curtis. So it was like extra personal for some of those kids, which is amazing to see. Overall, probably one of the best. I know I said this last week about the Tottenville Erasmus game, but I think the Erasmus had back-to-back classic PSAL football, high school football games, man. Back-to-back. The Tottenville game, classic. And this championship game versus Curtis, classic. The support that was given to this game, man.
Seriously.
Yo, when I tell you there was no more room left in Midwood's stands. None. It was none, man. It's crazy. Me and Andre had to use the bathroom, and we peek outside of the press box and realize it'll take us about 30 minutes to get to the bathroom and back. So it wasn't even worth it, man. Shout out to all the families and friends that came out and supported these kids. They deserve it. Both teams played phenomenal
Football.
Oh my gosh. I know we're gonna get more into it. Whew. Yeah, so that's what I have to say for starters.
Jared.
Yeah, to piggyback off that last part, it felt like I should have paid some kind of crazy price for a ticket for that kind of show.
Hold on one second. Y'all watch for free. Y'all watch for free. Some respect. All right, go ahead.
I didn't know where you're going with that. That's actually really funny. Yeah, it's like, I mean, for that kind of game, it was insane. That's something that so many people are going to remember, forever, like that E-Hall Curtis game. E-Hall trying to win 6 in a row, Curtis winning in overtime. It was insane. And some of the plays that, these kids made, whether, on both teams, whether it got negated by a flag or not, or, I mean, it just incredible. And so many, guys also on both teams showed that they were big-time players. Like, they showed up in the championship game in front of all those people watching at home. And, of course, Midwood packed as much as it could be. Like, man, like if that doesn't say, you know, a lot about some of these kids and like stepping up in, you know, that kind of moment, especially if you know it's been a little bit quieter for them, it's crazy. It really is. And wow, I'm just glad everyone was able to be part of it. What a like it's just fitting that that's how this PSAL season ended. Um, that's really what I can go with. And yeah, with OT, I mean, we're gonna get into all this. There's so much to get into, especially the end. But yeah, I think either way, if you go for two and you don't get it, then everyone's like, just kick the extra point. You hit it last time, play another overtime. It goes either way. It goes either way. But we'll talk about that later. But yeah, just for
Listen,
starters,
yeah,
still
so we're
still crazy.
yes, we're gonna go from first quarter to the
Yeah,
second
yeah.
overtime, but we're just gonna take a pit stop in the second overtime because I am the only person on this planet who is allowed to say they should have went for two because in front of 3,000 people, Mac asked me the question. I told him before the overtimes. I am the only person who is allowed to say they should have went for two.
Oh, I think I might have been on the stream
Okay.
saying something like that too, but
Listen,
we'll
because
see.
y'all always love to tell us when we're wrong. And I'm not saying necessarily I was right, because you never know what could have happened. But
Right.
Mac asked me the question. Mac asked me the question, and I said I looked right at him, not through a screen. He was right next to me, and I said, "Listen, honestly, even if I was Curtis, I would have went for two. Um, yeah, I would have went for two if I was Curtis as well. So I'm just gonna be honest. I'm not playing any more football. All right, let's start from the first quarter. And honestly, this is a more casual stream. I don't have any notes next to me. If we misplay something, who cares? It's the season finale. Mac, when you noticed Justice Murray and Kendu Brown were on the field at the same time, what was your reaction?
So we were in the booth, and I think one of us said, "Oh, Kendu has checked in the game because Justice came out of the game," and then you said, "But wait, I think it's Justice right next to him." And I'm like, "Yo, it is." Justice was lined up at running back. I really didn't know what to expect. I kind of figured that it would be a trick play. I didn't know how it was going to be designed. Um, and I saw Justice is an athlete as well. So when he handed the ball over to Justice, I'm like, oh, I think Justice is going to take the ball and throw it to a receiver. I had no idea. I didn't even. I stopped even watching Kendall. Kendall runs a wheel to the backside and he all strikes first. I was like, wow, man, that was great play design, perfect moment to run it. That was amazing, man.
Jared, how long do you think they had that in the tuck? They
Oh
practiced that just
man.
like the summer.
Yeah, literally. I was gonna say it probably had it for a while. I was like, all right, we're pulling it out when it's absolutely necessary, and
Mhm.
that was a great moment to do it. Similar to Mac on that play, the give to Justice, me, Mac, and I'm sure 90% of people in that stadium when he was running to the right side, it's like okay, he's either gonna take it himself or he's behind the line of scrimmage. He's looking up and he's gonna hit Lyric Samuel or Victor
Mhm.
Bube Anakagu or any of those receivers down the field on that side. But then when he turned back and I see Kendu running that wheel, I was like, oh my goodness! Like I think I had my hands on my head like way too many times during that game, just like uh, how crazy it was. And then hit Kendu Brown, I was like, wow, that was brilliant, just brilliant. And yeah, big time touchdown. And that really that set the tone. That got E-Hall off to an amazing start. And yeah, they really showed up early on.
Yes, I'm literally pulling up the stream right now because I want to make sure I give this shout out as I'm watching a replay of this. I want to shout out the receiver. Yeah, it was Victor Anakagu who made that block on the edge. Because it would have been way less epic if he got tackled at the 1 yard line. But Victor is doing a great job. I'm not even sure if Victor had a catch in that championship game. But that's what I talk about. Like, this is the championship DNA from both teams. Like, I will do whatever it takes to win this game. And every time, hold on, I saw something from Monty in the chat. Listen, Monty, you're talking about the Iceman, so I don't know, you can call him QB2. That's a little disrespectful. That is the Iceman. We're gonna talk about the Iceman once we get to the second half. Man. But yeah, that first quarter was just all E-Hall. And again, I feel like I'm asking this to Jared for like the 8th time today since yesterday. But how about that E-Hall secondary?
Man. Great dude. Like that first half, especially. I know they let up some big plays later on, but it's just insane. Like they have so many guys who are just so good. It's incredible. And what, 4 interceptions from them? Just remarkable. And it goes to show you. I mean, you got guys Richie Paul, Jasir Harris, Devin Pigot, Jaden Locke, all those really talented players coming up big. But wow, just really impressive stuff from them. And to do it on that stage, insane. And honestly, shout out to Coach Mouse. I know, not the result that you wanted, but like what he does with those defensive backs, like they put in, so much work over the summer, and he gets them right, technician wise. Like it's really amazing to see, and it really shows up on game day. Oh, Coach Gabe, that's the man right there.
Yeah. Shout out to Coach Gabe for real, man. A lot goes into this, of course. And Mac, just talk about if you're honestly, I'm literally trying to buy time. Does anyone remember the second touchdown? Because so much happened in this game. Like I'm trying to go like play touchdown for touchdown. I can't even remember. Richie Paul, like huge shout out to you, man. Like making plays all day
He's a
long.
beast, man.
If this is Devin Pigot, I'm just gonna assume it says Dev 3. Fits my narrative if it's Dev. Dev, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm upset that you're a senior.
I ain't gonna lie.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm upset that you're a senior
They were
because
getting nothing on him.
Yeah, I don't think. How do I say this? Defensive back is an extremely hard position to play at this level, and for someone to play it at that high of a level is tremendous. Yes, thank you, Gabe. So it was so much craziness happened. I forgot. So yes, it was the wheel route. Mac, you want to talk about that? Kendu Brown just perfectly placed pass to Amir Moreau for that second touchdown.
Yeah. So before I talk about that, 4 picks in the first half.
We'll get to that.
I was pretty sure we don't bet on high school sports. But if I was to put a live FanDuel bet at halftime, I would have probably put everything on Erasmus. 4 interceptions in the first half, 13-0. Wow, man. And then it was clicking. They drove down the field. Kendall had the rollout play. Amir ran the wheel. It was man-to-man across the board. The backer that was supposed to cover Amir kind of got a late start and was beat. Kendall put a perfect ball out there, and Erasmus strikes again before the half. I knew it was early, and I said during the stream that Curtis is a well-coached team, but man, 4 picks and then them scoring twice in a half. It's still high school football, so it's not really like college football. Um, but that's hard to like recover from that. 4 picks and down 2 scores a half in a championship game. That's hard to really bounce back, man. And to see that was crazy. Like I said, I think the play call. I hear people talking about the play calling from Erasmus. That was probably the best play calling I've seen from Erasmus. Like that was a clinic, man. Yeah, I really can't say enough about what I saw on Sunday. That was an amazing game. Second half, you could tell both teams made adjustments, and then it was back and forth, back and forth. Um, yeah, man, what a game.
So Mac, just real quick, if you're just pretend that you're a coach Gambardella, and you have to stand in front of your young men, and after 13 being down 13 points at halftime, how what do you say? First of all, just like I know we're pretending, but like just what do you think that feels like being down 13? We're all humans. I was thinking the same thing. We're all thinking the same thing. Here we go again. Here we go again with Eagle.
Yo, and this is what I was saying about people commenting on situations that they have never been in. I've never been in that kind of situation. I would like to email him and ask him, yo, what did you say to those kids at halftime?
Seriously.
Yo, like, what do you say? It's a couple ways you can go about it. I know coaches that kind of come in the locker room, start throwing stuff around, and start yelling, and then you have coaches who come in the locker room at halftime and don't say a word, and they let the kids figure it out, and then you have one of the leaders on the team kind of step up and start challenging his teammates, like, yo, what are we doing? What are we doing here? And amongst themselves, they will kind of get up and rally together and come out as a better team. I do think some X's and O's talks happened at halftime. The coordinators for Curtis coming out saying, here, this is might be open. Defensive adjustments, how we can stop them. 44 for Kurt. Yeah, James Harris just said.
Give us a second. Oh, we have a segment on him.
Oh,
we have a segment on him. Trust me.
Oh,
Yep.
dude's a warrior. Like, no pun intended. Yo, dude's a warrior. Like,
No,
yeah. At halftime, man, Curtis didn't come out. That's the thing. Curtis didn't come out the half flat. Like, they came out of that halftime break with the utmost energy, like it was 0-0. And I mean, hats off to that coaching staff for rallying those kids and keeping those kids in positive spirits, keeping them motivated. That's not an easy task.
Right. So we go into halftime 13-0. We're all looking at each other like, man, E-Hall's gonna do it again, aren't they? Gonna do it again, aren't they? And then Jared, we said this man's name 8 different times, 8 different ways yesterday. Our apologies to you, Nick.
I know,
Listen,
man.
thank you so much. Hold on, is this it? Nick Moustakis. Oh
Yeah, we
my
just
God.
kept
I
messing
think
it
we
up.
said his name 30 different times.
Yeah.
My apologies, my guy.
Yeah. Us too.
Jesus Christ. Nick Moustakis. Just talk about his playoff run, Jared.
Oh my goodness, man. I mean, seeing him play against South Shore on film, shout out TYJ. Seeing all those carries and stuff. Also, TYJ got some great film in the championship. But seeing him in the semis, really excited. Ran over South Shore. But then it's like, okay, You do that. Saw him, throughout the regular season, all the film, but it's like, all right, championship versus E-Hall. Like, how's this gonna go? How are you gonna be able to perform? And I mean, he really showed up. Thank you, by the way, Kyron. And it's yeah, showed up in the championship. And honestly, like what he gives teams so much trouble with, dude, his burst and like acceleration and how
Exactly.
hard he runs, it is so impressive, man. You hear sometimes like, oh, he's running with a purpose. Like, no, seriously, like 44 for Curtis Nick Mustakas. He is running with a serious purpose every single time he has it. Because he's not the biggest, but he'll certainly lower the shoulder and do some crazy things. He's a beast. And obviously for the Warriors, everyone loves to talk about Kawhi Gomez, rightfully so. We're going to talk about him in a little bit. He's one of the best, running backs in the state. But it is so nice to have a senior with that kind of speed right next to Kawhi in that backfield. And yeah, one of the best two-headed monsters that I've seen all season long.
Yeah, I mean, Mustakas, man, his playoff run was incredible leading up to this game. And then again, it was just so crazy. And I'm going to throw this to Mac. Nick broke a tackle every single play against E-Hall. Just talk about that, man.
This kid he's super tough, man. I saw him play against Tottenville in the regular season, towards the end of the season. I'm like, whoa, he runs super hard. He's not going down on any kind of arm tackles. You have to really bring it with this kid, man.
I'm not putting the on the screen.
What's crazy? Nah, but he's tough, man. I'm pretty sure he's a senior, right? I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yeah, I think he is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, senior year, go out with a bang. He ran like a senior running back that really wanted to win. So hats off to that kid.
No, absolutely. So it was Nick Mustakas. We finally got the pronunciation right. He scored the first touchdown. And as crazy as this sounds, because I literally commentated this game, just forgive me, because this weekend was a whirlwind, and even today was a whirlwind. I just realized that the Curtis defense pitched a shutout in the second half.
Wow, you're right. That's
Just
crazy.
realized that. You guys got me really nervous because you paused. I was like, was I
Those
wrong? But
adjustments.
no,
Oh, you're right. Because
they scored the 2 touchdowns in overtime.
yeah, because I mean, everyone of course wants to talk about the adjustments Curtis made offensively because they got shut out. They threw the interceptions, and then all of a sudden, bing bang, making plays, moving downfield. These incredible plays on offense, the fun stuff. But defensively, man, that front seven, they were a pleasure to watch all season long, and it was amazing seeing them in person.
You know what? I didn't realize that until you said that just now, Dre.
Yeah, that's why I paused.
Okay, so I wasn't the only one. Okay, I was like, yo, they pitched the shutout.
I didn't realize that. That's wow. Okay.
Yes.
That's
So the first person I want to shout out, and by the way, Justin, I see your message, but I'll address the quarterback situation in a second, but well, I guess I might as well just address it now. Obviously, the Iceman, Vinny Canzaneri, is he literally just sculpted his place in New York City football history. Let's be real here. Like, that performance was incredible. And, this is definitely something I take personally. Like, I don't know if anyone's ever, had a bad game and, the backup has to come into the game and he does a good job or whatever. But it's a huge shout out to huge shout out to Amp because, remained a team player. I saw him on the sideline the whole time, encouraging his teammates and everything like that. And Ant, he played a huge part in bringing them here. You know what I'm saying? And Vinny was the one to get him across the line, but trust me, Ant he has a ring, a sophomore forever.
I want to piggyback off of that, Andre.
Yeah.
In high school football, grade Muncie crazy, man. Muncie crazy. Your age and grade matter, man. Going from a sophomore to a junior, it matters in your development. The kid Vinny is a year older than Anthony. He looked a little more prepared in that game. Nothing really rattled him, which was like super shocking. He was a lot comfortable. I think Anthony played well, made a couple of risky decisions, taking shots downfield. He threw 2 great passes, which resulted into drops. But yeah, I think both of those guys are going to develop and do well at Curtis for the both of them. The kid Vinny, like I said, he looked a lot more prepared. He looked a lot more calm, and it kind of showed. He played a more relaxed game, kind of let the offense flow. But I think moving forward, Curtis has a great situation on their hands with both of those quarterbacks in their program.
Absolutely. So, and you can just tell that the Curtis team is, you tell just the camaraderie that they all have, you know what I'm saying? So huge shout out to them, of course. And I just want to talk about number 8, Javon Mitchell
Oh,
for Curtis, the captain. Before every game, before every half, they put him up on their shoulders. He gets everyone riled up. The senior captain, I don't even know if the stats are up. Listen, he must have had 10 tackles. Jared, just talk about. We'll start with Javon Mitchell. Just talk about him yesterday, man.
Man, he was really impressive all over the field. I need to check the exact stats, but the amount of tackles he had, it had to be up there for sure with how he was playing. And, a lot of responsibility. Like you're supposed to stop Amir Morrow, Deshaun Barr-Mackins, Justice Murray when he runs. That's really challenging. Also has to do his thing in pass coverage. And one thing that I like too, and just so much about this Curtis team as well, is the resilience, because I think on that Amir Morrow touchdown, I have to double check. It might have been Javon Mitchell on the coverage where Morrow got behind him and scored. Right, like plays like that happen in these games. How are you going to respond to it? What's next? And for him, he didn't flinch. He made so many plays after that, and was a major reason why Curtis ended up being on top. And he's a lot of fun to watch. It's really impressive. And also his buddies, right? The rest of the front seven, and those linebackers and the defensive
Buddies,
line.
I like that.
We'll get to Jared Sarit and those guys up front, man. So good.
By the way, like I said, we better appreciate Jared while we have him, because as he said that, I was like, "Is he right?" Just looked, I was like, "Damn!" It was Javon on the coverage there.
yeah, it was.
And he still, and you know what I mean. He still did his thing afterwards. He played his game, and that's just so impressive to me, because especially that's what you're supposed to do as a football player, but still being able to do it on that stage, it still means a lot.
Coach Mack. Did you play defensive line as well as offensive line, Coach Mack?
Yeah, defensive tackle, and I do want to talk about Jared Sarit.
That's exactly what I was about to throw
right
to you.
Please.
Yeah,
go ahead.
This guy is but so much you can ask out of players in high school. Some guys are just naturally talented, and even as an offensive lineman, to try to block a kid like him, and then he's only going one way. It seemed like he didn't he came out always just super pumped the entire game. It was never plays where he took off. Always the play was going to the opposite side. He was involved in the play. That was amazing, man. To watch that kid yesterday in person, I'm like, yeah, this kid he's really good. Physical, comes off the ball hard, always involved in the play, whether it's to his side or away from his side. Just a physical specimen, man. And he's only a junior. So to see this kid come back to the PSAL, oh man, yeah, definitely. I'm hoping the kid's grades are good because he'll have a bright future.
Yeah, man, and just wearing those neon green gloves, it was
Oh,
easy to
yeah,
find him in the
Yeah.
pile. Oh yeah, don't worry, we're making our way to Mr. Casey Royal. We're making our way to Casey. But first, just to talk about this Curtis defense, I want to give a huge shout out to number 15, Akai Lewis. Because in this whole game, so much craziness happened, and you might have forgotten Akai Lewis might have saved the game for Curtis, honestly. I think it was after the third interception. I'm going back to the second quarter. It was like the third interception. You all had the ball in Curtis territory. And let's be real here. It was looking like the knockout punch was about to come. And Akai Lewis, only a sophomore. First of all, I didn't even know he played safety. I thought he only played wide receiver because he's a tremendous wide receiver. But he damn near toe taps an interception. And this is what I talk about when it comes to teams and being a team player. Because half of you in the chat, half of you in the chat after an interception, you would have been like, oh my God, he threw another interception. Oh my God. But no, that's why the Curtis Warriors are the champions, right? They saw the third interception, they put their helmet back on, and they got the ball back for their offense. That's what you have to do. The standard is set. The great thing with Sage Media is that it's recorded damn near forever. You know, YouTube is probably going to be here longer than all of us. So that's there forever. Study this. Don't just look at the highlights. Don't just look at the end of the game. Watch the game and just like think about it. Talk to people. Talk to me, Mac, Jared. That's what it takes to be a champion. So huge shout out to Akai Lewis and that entire defense that pitched the shutout. And now, entering the room is the Iceman, Vinny Canzaneri. Jared, just take away his performance and that throw to Casey Royal.
Man, I mean, special, right? I mean, to do that, it's unreal. And I think when you go to the Casey Royal throw, I'm just double checking. This was right. I think the play after the punt return called back, right?
Yeah.
Like, wow. So yeah, you had I think it was Evan Dukes on the return, right?
Yes, I have an Evan Duke segment. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so we're gonna get to that later, but quickly, Dukes takes it to the house. Whole place goes nuts. Flag on the field. It's like devastating for Curtis, obviously. You have to go back, and honestly, that first play, I thought they were probably gonna run the ball or do something a little conservative. I did not think Vinny's taking a shot to the end zone here, and not only did he take a shot? You just saw that comment too. He dropped in the breadbasket, dime. I think on air it was either one of us three said he put it in a spot where only Casey Royal could catch it, and still a shout out to Casey Royal in the sense of like great route. you're going against Jasir Harris, who's one of the best DBs in the state, and you're able to make that type of play. That's impressive in itself. But I mean, textbook throw and catch, and that's PSAL football championship. Insane play right there, unreal.
And I was really thinking about that throw and that catch. And of course, Casey Royal, tremendous job keeping your feet in bounds, first of all. But second of all, listen, if he didn't catch it, that ball was going to be stuck in his helmet. How perfect it was. It was like, first of all, just like the concentration. Anyone who's played wide receiver understands how difficult it is when somebody flashes. Erica, see you, man.
Yeah, Erica.
Anyone knows like how difficult it is to catch the ball if someone like flashes their hand in front of you. Like if you lose sight of the ball even for like a second, like it just throws your whole body off if you're not just super locked in. But like Vinny literally put it like right on his helmet. And they talk about like as a wide receiver having late hands. Like Casey was forced to have late hands because there's no way he could have saw the ball without Jasir's hand in front of him. So to see the ball late, to go and snag it in the air is just tremendous. So that was the tie. And before we get into the overtime, we're jumping ahead, but let's just talk about the performance of Lyric Samuel in this game.
Yes.
Coach
I'm
Mack,
glad you mentioned that, Dre.
I'll give you the first word.
Yeah, man. He played the catches, the diving catches. I mean, another kid who played like he was a senior. If the ball was in his vicinity, he was making an attempt to go get it.
Yeah.
The play where they called an illegal formation, yo, when he caught the ball, I'm like, that's it, man. But there was a flag on the play. The play came back, but just the plays that he was making overall, just putting the ball in his area, he's diving out to get it. Like he really showed that he left it all on the field, and you can't ask for nothing more than that.
Jared.
Man, yeah, Lyric. I had a feeling, going into this game, we talked about it like on the streams, like last year on the stage, he did this, it was awesome, and then to follow it up with another amazing performance. And if you don't know New York City football, right, and you're just watching that game, you're just watching those two teams, you're being like, wow, who is number 7 on Erasmus Hall?
Well, I got a phone call. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yo, number 7.
Yeah. It's like, yo, who is that? Needs to get him on the team immediately. But also the most impressive part, I mean, at least for me, because I know what he could do as a wide receiver, and he's, of course, one of the best wideouts in the state. I think you guys know where I'm going with this. Outside of these amazing catches on offense, the block.
Oh, wow.
From Lyric Samuel to keep the game going.
That's crazy, too.
And let's remember, Curtis, they might just be like the most automatic team in the PSAL when it comes to hitting extra points. Like, you can make an argument for that. I don't have the stats on it, but you can make that argument most likely with how good their kicker is and how disciplined and good their special teams usually is. So, and Lyric Samuel comes up clutch, keeps it tied, and sends it to OT, gives Erasmus Hall a fighting chance. It's unbelievable.
No, absolutely. Mac just, I forgot about that point. Just talk about Lyric coming on the field and making that block. I mean, first of all, it hit him in his chest because he was probably, if you count how tall he, like when he extended his hand, What do you think he was? I don't know, 9 feet in the air? Like, what do you think, Mac?
Listen, man, I thought somebody slipped through and blocked it. And when it happened, when the extra point got blocked, I'm like, yo, Erasmus may have the best field goal block unit in the city. Back to back weeks, like, yo, what is going on, man? I couldn't believe that. And then to see how it happened, you replayed it on a laptop to see how it happened. Nobody actually slipped through. He just raised up and blocked it and blocked the kick. That was, yeah, man. That was amazing to see. That kind of extended the game.
Oh, absolutely. So now we'll try to do this in about 5 to 10 minutes because, we got to get to the other games. But now we're in the overtimes, right? So E-Hall score in the first overtime, right? E-Hall score in the first overtime.
Yeah.
And actually, no, I'm actually mixing it up because I want to rush. I'm just going to fast forward ahead because it's also going to piggyback off of the segment I want to get into, and it's about Evan Dukes. We had a conversation off camera, right? We're talking about some of the best wide receivers, best wide receivers in this league. It was a few weeks back, and I brought up Evan Dukes. I was like, yo, like every time I see this guy, Evan Dukes, he's making plays. And then, we looked at his numbers and they weren't like the craziest numbers. I was kind of surprised. I'm like, man, like I thought his numbers would be better. Like, I guess, Curtis spread the ball around, but every time I see this guy, Evan Dukes, he's making a big play. And I think I even said it on the live stream. And on the 3rd and long in overtime, I've seen that catch from quite a few different angles. Evan just laying out strictly hands, snatching it, no regard for his body, full impact with the floor, holding on to it to keep the drive going, which led to the eventual game-winning touchdown. Jerry, you just want to talk about Evan Dukes and, of course, his punt return.
Yeah.
Damn
Oh,
near,
man.
just like you said, would have been the play of the year if it wasn't for the holding. Just talk about number 5, Evan Dukes.
Dude, that return, oh my goodness. Like, I'll start off with that. Insane. You know, when he received it and going down the sideline, I thought, that was it right there. Curtis just was, tied the game, about to take the lead. Fortunately, the penalty, so got negated, but then they scored anyways. And the snag in overtime was as big time as you could get. Laying out there, another great throw from Vinny, and yeah, he put it in a great spot. But Dukes, man, and it's just been the same thing all year for him, like you said, Andre. He's just making plays every single game. He's figuring it out, and he's making some sort of big impact, whether it's only 1 or 2 catches or if he has an even bigger game. And just in those moments, if Curtis needs a play, of course, you had Casey Royal, who was outstanding, which we'll get to him, but finding Evan Dukes in that second overtime, such a huge play. And yeah, he's a special player. It's another theme for me, man. It's crazy that these kids are seniors. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like, wow, it's annoying that they're seniors because that's the last time
Like, don't go so soon. Like, we
yeah, like
just
we're
got
seeing. You know what I mean?
here.
It sucks that we're not seeing them on stage anymore, but they're gonna do great things. Whatever they end up doing, all of them. So that's awesome. But yeah, Dukes, man, crazy snag. And once he caught that, I was like, all right, whew, that just changed a lot of Curtis. Looks like Curtis might score here.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go right back to you, Jared, and I'll leave the finale to you, Mac, because you talked about Casey Royal, and I honestly just cheated a bit. I just double checked. I didn't even realize it was him who made that incredible grab at the back of the end zone in the first overtime. So
Yes.
just keep going about these Curtis wide receivers and talk about Casey Royal.
Nah, man, they definitely came to play. I didn't really hear too much about 23 before this game. He stepped up tremendously, man. Made some big plays, like they was talking about in the comments. The defender on that play played it well. You can't ask for a corner to play it any better than what he did. The ball placement, the catch, the concentration by that kid, super talented. Then to come back, the play to Evan Dukes that kind of put them in position to run it in at I believe the second overtime. That's just that was amazing, man. I know some of the scores in the PSAL. I don't think we put those kids in the conversation as much as we should have.
Jared on Casey Royal.
Man, and he's one of those players where I mentioned, there's a group of guys that like it's just so impressive, and like for what they did on this kind of stage, and of course Casey Royal is gonna get a lot of the glory, man. 2 unbelievable catches, and going against Jasir Harris as well, who's such a good defensive back. What a battle they had, and for these Curtis receivers, and for Casey Royal. It's another thing where it's like, wow, that first half, that E-Hall secondary dominated. 4 interceptions, shutout. This is the secondary that everyone, considers arguably the best in the state. So it's just like, wow, we're in trouble. We're not really doing much here in half number 1. Didn't phase them. And, Royal ends up making a couple big plays. Dukes makes some big plays. Of course, got a Kai Lewis, a receiver. So it's just like so many talented Curtis Warriors being able to step up when trailing the 5-time defending champs. That's like the comeback aspect for me is arguably the most impressive because most teams are rolling over after Erasmus Hall jumps on them like that.
Absolutely. And now that brings us to the second half of the overtime.
Man.
3rd and goal from the 8-yard line. Yes, Akai's catch was crazy in the first quarter. That was like the shoestring catch. That was insane.
And Dre, they had the penalty to get to the 8.
Yeah, that's what. Yes, because it was 3rd and goal. No, excuse me, it was 4th and goal from the 3, and it was the false start, right? Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
4th and goal from the 8-yard line after a frustrating penalty. Game is on the line. Jared, what happens next?
Man, okay, so they have Lyric Sam. That's the first thing I looked at. Is like, all right, where's Lyric Samuel right now?
Yes.
He's isolated. Curtis literally puts 2 guys directly on him right
As
away.
they should. As they gave him the Megatron. Gave him the Megatron treatment.
I was just going to say that. Treat him like Calvin. And put 2 guys directly on him on the goal line. And I'm like, all right, you're not throwing this ball up here. But in my head, I'm like, you're from the 8. They got to pass it. And Lyric's doubled. So what's going to happen here is Justice going to have to scramble, or is he going to throw it up to someone else? And the brilliance of this Erasmus Hall staff goes to the play that I wouldn't have expected. They go with an option. Murray pitches it to Amir Morrow, and he refused to be stopped. He takes it into the end zone. Truly incredible play and amazing play call. The execution for E-Hall to do that in that type of moment. But wow, man. And then Amir Morrow also like bouncing off tacklers as he's getting into the end zone. He had a great game too. Like some of the flashes he showed, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is why he's gonna be a legit Division I running back. It was truly incredible for him. And yeah, crazy play call to get E-Hall within 1.
I am pretty confident if you have built a concrete wall in front of the mirror when he caught that pitch, he would have taken the concrete wall into the end zone with him. He caught the pitch, and his acceleration after he caught that pitch was just like, I will do anything to get into this end zone right now. Like he caught the
Yeah.
pitch, it was like a flash. He was in the end zone. Just an incredible, incredible play. And now it brings us to the extra point. Now, like I said, only Andre Johnson is allowed to say I would have gone for 2. 'Cause I said it in front of 3,000 people. But since Jared was next to me and we didn't get a chance to ask him the question, I know it's a little unfair because it's Monday morning quarterback, Jared Valluzzi. What would you have done?
Man, it's so tough. It's so tough to say. Obviously, like the easy way out, it's like, oh, you should have went for 2. You should have given 2 Amir. But I mean, I understand both ways. It's tough because here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't know if I said this on stream or off camera, but when E-Hall scored first in that first overtime, I said, if Curtis scores here, I think Curtis should go for 2 in that first overtime. Thankfully, I am not a head coach, and I will never be a football coach. Thankfully, I did say that. Very dumb, but I was like, yeah, like E-Hall just blocked that last extra point, but Curtis is automatic for 99% of the time usually. So they end up hitting it, and but then after that, I guess part of me wanted them to go for 2. I'm really 50-50 split, man. Because I understand to keep playing. I would have loved to see a third overtime, honestly. But it's tough. It's tough. I'm 50-50.
I would have gone for 2 in the first overtime if I was Curtis. I would have gone for 2 if I was in the second overtime. If I was E-Hall, I'm not playing any more football.
Yeah, you
That's
want
all I'm going to say.
It's not, yeah.
I'm just going to say, I'm not playing
It's
anymore.
tough.
I am not playing more football. I'm not playing more football.
No,
That's
that
my
makes
opinion.
sense. I
I'm
guess
not
honestly,
playing more football.
I mean, I did say Curtis should have went, so yeah, probably. I guess we'll end up going for 2 because it's grueling, man. Football is tough. It's tough, but I think either decision, either way, I would have been like, oh, then you should have did this just because it went something right. And
Exactly.
if Yol hits that extra point, no one's saying, oh, you should have went for 2. So
Yeah, but then we're all still sitting out there. We're
yeah,
still sitting out there.
Third overtime, and it's like the craziest thing ever.
Yeah, 5-star. I have no clue if just I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat can tell us if there's ever been 2 overtimes in a PSAL game. I don't even know what the overtime rules. If the overtime rules have always been this, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't think college football's always had these overtime rules. So, and obviously that's what high school bases it off of. So I don't know. I don't know if there's been 2 overtimes before. So Mac will be right back. But we are going to move on to the next game. Congratulations to the Curtis Warriors and congratulations to Erasmus Hall as well. half a decade of Dutchman. It had to come to an end at some point, and what a fashion for it to come to an end if it had to, and it had to yesterday. The Curtis Warriors, it kind of feels like justice. They were the best team all year long. And of course, sports aren't fair all the time. But, Curtis, they ended the streak or in the regular season. And then they end the streak that really matters in the championship. So, congratulations to the 8-time PSAL champion Curtis Warriors, man. Now, Jared.
Man, oh,
After
man.
we watch this game, would you believe I did not believe the 4A game would follow this up.
No, I mean,
I did not believe the 4A game would
Asani.
follow up
Yeah.
37-36 Brooklyn Tech with the win. Asani Low, you're gonna have a segment. Jared, just overall, can you believe this football game?
Crazy. I wish I was there to see it live. But as I'm hearing, like, of course, we got our chat with the guys. Just
Jared, hold
like,
on one second. Hold on one second. I told Brooklyn Tech I would do this for them. They're all in the chat for you, Jared.
I was the Mac pick him or no?
No, he
I
did
don't think
not.
so.
Just
That's
have a
it.
bow,
Brooklyn
Jared.
Tech. Brooklyn Tech, man, they were able to do it after that APR win. I was like, man,
Yo, take
I
a
was like, this
screenshot of the
truly
chat right
is
now.
a team of destiny, and I knew they were gonna like. I mean, Ford Hamilton's loaded. I said it. I was like, they might be the most balanced team. They're so complete. But yeah, something about Brooklyn Tech this season, man, just absolutely special. Brooklyn Tech football is back. Just saw that in the chat. Absolutely. Yeah, what a win for them, man. I mean, this program truly, truly on the rise. Appreciate all the love. If that is Tristan Suarez, I'm not sure if it is. I just saw Tris. That's someone else who I'm sure we're going to talk about a lot. That, game-winning touchdown run, insane. But yeah, back and forth, man. These two offenses, incredible. And, shout out to both programs. Really appreciate the love, guys. And yeah, man.
I just watch them all on the
You're
screen.
blasting all of it. I was like, I appreciate it. But yeah, Ford Hamilton played an absolutely amazing game. Brooklyn Tech played great. Spoiler, I don't know when it's coming out because I have so much stuff to do. But Andre, Sage Media, Uzzi Sports, game recap, collab for some of these. Hopefully this one. Yeah, actually, definitely this one. So I can't wait for that, and that's gonna be really exciting. But yeah, congratulations, Brooklyn Tech. 37-36. Insane. Also, huge shout out to Fort Hamilton because I know Harold Marshall is going to be an absolute superstar. And
Oh my God! We have listen.
we have a
Mac,
whole
you better
segment for him.
hurry
He's
up
an
and get
absolute
back
superstar.
here.
Aiden Farley is a stud. I mean, I know we're going to end up getting into the fourth quarter about it, like, with him kicking it. I love trying to win it with him. That's the one thing I will say. He's a star, and unfortunately, it didn't go their way. But Farley is a beast, man. The Porters, it's just two programs that totally surpassed so many people's expectations preseason. I don't think a lot of people would have predicted a Fort Hamilton Brooklyn Tech championship. I don't know who's predicting that in the preseason if we were talking about this in August. So the fact that they're both able to do it, man, incredible. And yeah, I'm excited for the future, the real future of these programs, and what they're gonna do. And man, it's insane. How about that one for Brooklyn?
Jared, first of all, the video is not out yet. Shot by LJ, our guy Lincoln. He
Oh,
has
I
it.
can't wait. Yes,
Let me
LJ,
tell
the
you
man.
something. It was like, there's a bunch of stuff going on after the game. The tech guys have the banner out. They're celebrating. It was like they were all. Let's say they're all looking this way, and then like they all collectively. Is that Sage Media over there? Yo, first it
No.
was like, where's Jared? Where's Mac? Yo, I literally had to pose for a picture with them with my hands up. Like,
That's awesome. That's
it
awesome.
was hysterical.
Oh, that's so good, man.
I don't.
Yeah,
By the way,
37.
I
Oh,
don't. I don't.
37-36.
Hold on a second. By the way, I don't think Jared picked you guys when we picked the overall. bracket.
there it is.
Sorry to burst y'all bubble, but Jared was wrong with us too. Everybody tell me, Jared knows everything. I'm like,
I do admit, I had a Philip Randolph winning the whole thing. I will admit.
but you're the hero though.
But once I saw that Brooklyn Tech's defense,
Yeah.
this season, especially what they did in the semifinals, I was like, wow. And a lot of really good players. And then I was like, yeah, I'm rolling with Brooklyn Tech. Oh man, Andre, you exposed me in the chat.
You're still there. You're still their hero. You're still their hero. So first of all,
Yeah,
I see my guy right here. This is where let's get into this game. Michael Jung. This kid is an absolute warrior, man. An absolute warrior. Quarterback, he gets hit hard, and they're taping up his shoulder on the sideline, and he gets right back into the game, ends up, leading the team down for the game-winning touchdown. Incredible player, Michael Jung, for real. My hat's off to you. And first of all, I just want to, I said this before, I said this to your coach. I saw Brooklyn Tech pre-COVID. I saw them pre-COVID, and it wasn't good. What else am I going to say? It was not good, right? Michael told me that, I'm not sure if it was his freshman or his sophomore year, but he showed up for the first day of football, and there were 8 people.
I think I
First year,
actually saw that. I think I saw that on social
yeah.
media.
First year, 0-8. Second year, 1-7. Let's be honest, they're in the 3A probably because of their school size, right? Like how else would they be in the 3A? If it's just based off of how you played. And it was starting last year. I'm just seeing like Brooklyn Tech winning games, and I'm just like, Brooklyn Tech? Brooklyn Tech winning games? There you go. So 1-9 in 2022.
That's insane.
And I'll admit, hold on a second. I think you owe the people something.
What we doing?
We're on the Brooklyn Tech. We're on the Brooklyn Tech for Hamilton set.
I apologize. In my defense, that was the first time me seeing Brooklyn Tech play in person. And who is number one? Suarez.
We're about to get
What
it.
the hell? Who the hell is that? Yo, who is Suarez? We never, Dre and Jared, we've been doing this podcast, what? This is 8 weeks? I believe this is 8 weeks. We've never mentioned, and no, how come, all right, no, it's not our fault. How come nobody in the chat has said, yo, y'all better look out for Suarez? I've never seen that in the chat. And these are the kids that's in the chat. You guys played against Brooklyn Tech, so you guys know who Suarez is. You know who Suarez is. How come nobody said, "Yo, I know you're talking about the best backs in the city, but yo, look out for number 1 on Brooklyn Tech, Suarez." Like, come on, man, we got to do better as a community.
I will not leave Mac out in the cold. I'm commentating the game, and I'm like, who is this kid running so hard, man?
So
my God, this kid. Yo, honestly, this is the truth. Like, every step of the way, I forget, I should know this off the top of my head, but I forget who Brooklyn Tech played in the last week. No, it was APR. pretty sure it was APR they played in the last week, and we were like, oh, like, you know, Brooklyn Tech has had a great season, but now they're up against APR, beat them. Okay, they're in the semifinals. Brooklyn Tech has had a great season. Got to play APR again. Beat them. Okay, Brooklyn Tech has had a great season. Fort Hamilton, the most balanced team. I mean, why are we even up here talking? Because we don't know what we're talking about.
I blame
I
Hector.
mean, it's just a tremendous effort. Tristan Suarez, this man was playing defense as well. I don't know how many batteries he has in his back because I don't understand how he was running that hard and going to tackle people as well.
And I think he's a junior.
Oh, yeah,
Really?
he's coming back. He's coming back.
Oh, Jared, Jared, you knew?
So no, I just found out now that he's a junior. I'll be honest.
No, they said you knew about Suarez prior to this week.
So of course I've seen the name. I've seen the name, and a lot of what I've said with Brooklyn Tech is like, it feels like they have a bunch of guys. Like it seems like they're deep and like they have a good core. But I was never stepping up and saying, "Hey, listen, they have this stud named Suarez." I didn't do that. I gave their whole team credit and like the good core, but I wasn't putting him in the conversation with the rest of the top players in the 3A, like an Aiden Farley and a Travis Campbell. But Matt, he really made a name for himself, and so did this whole Brooklyn Tech team.
Solid 23. Tech had a linebacker, number 23, flying around. I felt like, I don't know if we mentioned him before, but I'm like, wow, I'm not even sure the kid's name. Number 23. He plays linebacker.
Oh, that's Asani Lowe.
We're about to get to Asani Lowe.
No, we've mentioned him before. He's really good. No, trust me. We mentioned him before.
We did.
He's legit.
Wow. Yeah, man. This was good to see. Woof. This was good to see Tech out there like that, man, for real.
Yo, Sonny Lowe was really hitting people on Saturday, boy. A Fort Hamilton player hated to see a Sonny Lowe coming through. He was coming down. I'm not sure if he was at the safety or a linebacker position, but Sonny Lowe was really tackling.
Yeah.
And it was freezing on Saturday. Did not care. Huge shout out to Asani Lowe for real. And just a huge shout out to everyone on this Brooklyn Tech team. Like there's no point in even getting super into like breaking down this game because it's honestly I just wanted to celebrate Brooklyn Tech because we haven't celebrated them properly all year. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Jaden Roman was absolutely putting in work as well. But
also David in the chat too. Sorry to cut you off, Andre. Taros, yes. Yeah. I think that's even his name. Another good defensive player on Brooklyn Tech.
No, shout out to him. And yes, we will be airing the Riley Classic on Saturday. Kickoff is what time's kickoff? It's noon, right? Yeah, kickoff is noon. So we will be airing the Riley Classic. So huge shout out to Tech. We did give their defense love all year long, but didn't know they had an offense like that and the grit that they had. Now, to the Fort Hamilton side of this, I don't know what more this team. Sorry, Eli Hendrick. What number is Eli Hendrick? I'm looking for him on the roster. Sorry. Like I said, my apologies if I'm not remembering everything linearly, like in a straight line. A lot happened this weekend. Number 21. Yes, he was tremendous as well, honestly. Yeah, you're right. I mean, honestly, there's too many people to shout out on Brooklyn Tech for real, honestly.
And that's part of what makes them, so good throughout the years.
Oh, yes, the one-handed catch. Oh, my God, yes.
Oh,
I honestly forgot.
That was a big play.
Damn.
I mean, it's just like I said, there's just too much in this whole game, and it honestly was one of the catches of the year. If you guys remember, there was like a little issue with the stream, so there was a portion I had to like run out for. But just to get to Fort Hamilton, man, I don't know if this team could have done any more in this game. First person to talk about is Harold Marshall III.
HM3. Damn.
Man.
We've been talking about this young man all year long. And now he got his chance on the big stage. And wow. Harold Marshall III, he's not going to be the same. He's not the same. He came into Saturday, Harold Marshall III. He left it HG3. Like, he's walking different now. I'm sure his phone is going off crazy because Harold Marshall III is just tremendous. Mac, just you want to go first on Harold Marshall III?
Yeah, man. Phenom kid. I saw him play before, so I kind of knew what to expect. He turned it up a notch in this game. He must have had well over 17 carries. He runs hard. The kid's only a sophomore. Super physical. Coach E, you
Just
crazy.
saying. He said it.
Yeah, E, you said it. He runs super hard, man. Tough kid. Only a sophomore. Watching that game and watching him and Suarez go back and forth. Wow, man. I'm really curious to see what his future looks like at Fort Hamilton. He's gonna be probably one of the top players in the PSAL, regardless of the division. He's really, really tough, man. Really tough.
What are your thoughts on HG3? Like, we can't call him Harold Marshall III no
HM,
more. Your thoughts on HG3?
HM3, HM3. Oh.
No, HM3, excuse me, HM3.
Jared?
Jerry, you can hear us?
Yeah. Wait. What? I didn't get that last part. You guys were just like standing.
Oh.
Sorry. You guys were like just like frozen. I was like, are you guys talking?
Yeah. No, I
Talking
said
about Harold
just your
Marshall
thoughts.
still?
Yeah. Just your
Yeah.
thoughts on HM3.
He's actually incredible. And someone said this in the chat before about how I occasionally bring up Long Island. Sorry, I'm gonna do it again. But when people from out there are hearing about Harold Marshall, I mean that says something. He's just a sophomore, right? And he's not and he's not playing for E Hall, where obviously they're recognized a little bit easier just from the past from all those championships. And dude, Harold, man, he's a beast. I was excited to see him in like that showdown with Travis Campbell earlier in the season, but the potential and the ceiling for Harold Marshall through the roof. I mean, hard to believe that he was an underclassman, and these next 2 years, I would hate to be on a defense that has to go against him and tackle him. The size, the speed, he's gonna be really good. And yeah, Fort Hamilton is a legendary program. I was just saying the past few years, obviously, because Erasmus has had the recent success. So, but yeah, he, Harold Marshall, man, and doing it again in the championship. A lot of eyes are gonna be on him. That's all I'm gonna say right now.
As they should, man. I mean, just to move at his size, how fast he can move is just incredible. This guy, Mac, this guy is a running back, putting his hand in the dirt, playing D tackle as well. Like,
Man.
I don't know if I've seen that. There's been a long. I don't know if I've seen something like that. Like someone playing running back and D tackle. And let me tell you, in that second half, he could not be blocked.
He got a size for a D tackle. It ain't like he's a running back playing. He got a size for. He fits right in with the rest of the defensive line. He doesn't look out of place. The kid has freakish size, man. And what? He's only 14, 15 years old? That's ridiculous. Like, wow. Just to see that kid play, I would love to see this kid develop and what he looks like as a senior. That's gonna be scary.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, we're honestly talking about this incredible 2025 class and some players that were literally angry. I'll literally say angry that they're graduating. And one of those players is Aiden Farley. I mean, Aiden played tremendous on Saturday, threw a couple of touchdown passes to his guy, August Porter. Damn, another senior. I had to double check because
Yeah.
I knew he was I know his brother also had a pretty good game.
Yeah, the Porter brothers. This was my first time.
Yeah, Aiden's the sophomore, yeah.
So yeah, this is my first time being introduced to the Porter brothers as well, man. What year are they in?
So August Porter, he's number 2. He caught a couple of touchdown passes.
Yeah.
He's a senior, and number 13, Aiden Porter, is a sophomore.
Oh, I don't know why I thought they was twins. Okay. All right, cool. Wow. That's dope, man. 2 balled out. 2 did his thing.
Yeah, man. I mean, Jared, you want to just talk about Aiden Porter and just his performance?
Yeah. Oh man, the Porters. This is why, like, I know I didn't pick for Hamilton to win it, but why I was so high on them, and like, they're such a complete team. Like, to have a group of, to have the Porter brothers, to have Harold Marshall, and then of course Aiden Farley, all on the same offense, and then of course some good big guys up front. That's one of the best 3A. They might have had the best 3A offense. I mean, it was incredible. And Aiden Farley, shout out to him on his career, just outstanding. And we saw the potential at the Rising Stars Bowl. And he had a good junior season because Fort Hamilton let him air it out. But for that all to come together, really incredible. And then the Porters, man. You mentioned Aiden Porter, August Porter. It felt like, we mentioned it like each week on this podcast, like, yeah, Aiden Farley did his thing, and guess who we found? It was the Porter brothers, and just that combination, man. I think everyone's gonna miss it, except for the defenses that played against it. But yeah, wow, truly a really fun combination to watch. Something that I'm gonna miss in the PSAL for sure. And shout out to them going that far in the championship and having that kind of year.
Yeah, I want to shout out Aiden Farley as well. Had a tremendous year. I think you said, Andre, he was number 2 in passing yards.
Second in passing in the entire PSAL.
Fort Hamilton is letting that ball rip, man. And I want to shout out another kid that played in the Rising Stars Bowl, Timothy Tan, who plays linebacker. And he went and stepped up for his team and played offensive guard this season when he was called on, man. So I want to salute to that kid. Very great athlete, very great person, super coachable. Another senior that really played lights out this season.
No, absolutely. This game, like I said, I didn't expect this game to be matched by the 4A at all. Jared, it's time for Jared to sign out. Jared, I'll full screen you. Me and Mac will take the 2A and the 1A.
Wow. Yeah, full screen, please.
Take it
honestly. I never asked to be full screen. Yeah.
I'm about to say that might be your first.
Yeah. Yeah, to everyone still in the chat. Wow. Thank you, because like you guys really made this possible. Like this is the season finale, and I'm saying goodbye early, but wow, this is a hell of a ride. Like I was happy to like do this. I didn't expect it to be this much fun. Every single Monday, looking forward to it. Andre, Mac, shout out to you guys because like this ended up being, one of my favorite things that I've ever done, like within broadcasting and covering high school football, man. And like form relationships with you guys, and then especially all the people in the chat. So yeah, thank you guys. Congratulations to all the football players in the PSAL, to the seniors especially. Um, Congratulations on completing another season, whatever you guys do. Whether it's football or just going to college, man, or doing wherever, like whatever your path is, man. Good luck. And I know it's a really long goodbye, man. It's just definitely a little bit emotional because of the season finale. So thank you guys, Andre, Mac. Have fun tonight, the rest of the way. And also, I didn't get to talk about 2A and 1A, but shout out to all 4 teams that played. That Grady game was crazy. I know you guys are going to get in on it. And Eagle 3, man, doing it. It was amazing. Oh, man. Well, anyways, guys, that's it. And, yeah, have a good one, fellas. I'll see you.
All right, Jared.
God, man. Appreciate you, man. Get out of here. He just couldn't. He might have just missed it. He might have just missed this one. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, so shout out to Jared, man. We couldn't have done this without him.
Definitely.
Shout out to the champions, Brooklyn Tech. And now we move to the 2A. Eagle Queens capping off an undefeated season, defeating FJM for the second time. This time it was 6-0. Mac, have to give your take on this one first.
I said this was going to be a closer game than the first matchup. I had when we did the predictions, I had Sheepshead actually winning this game. I feel like they made the adjustments. Just couldn't get on the board. Final score 6-0. Close game, defensive game. Yeah, man. Coach P's in the chat.
Oh, Coach P. Coach P said, it's my time. It's my time.
Well, I mean, Coach P, to be honest, the first game you guys played against them, Andre, if I'm not mistaken, the score was 20, what was it, 23-12, 24-12, something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
So this was definitely a more competitive game. You guys won the time of possession. But Sheepshead's defense was kind of a bend, don't break. They stopped you guys when they needed to. 6 points from a defensive coordinator standpoint. You can't take away nothing from that. I do want to commend the Eagle 3 coaches and players coming out with some fire, mixing it up when they had to, giving the ball to number 2. After a while, as a defensive player on Sheepshead Bay's defense, after a while in that cold 30-degree weather, you don't want to tackle that kid number 2.
No way. Corey Gibson, shout out to him, man.
Corey Gibson. It'll kind of get annoying. It'll get annoying to do so. I do think Eagle came a little more prepared, just overall as a program. The kids wanted it, and it showed. It showed the way they played. Like I said, they had extremely long drives on offense, on defense. They were flying around, making tackles. At times where Ahmad Cisse would get the ball, where I think on a regular play he would break out. He was getting tackled. Yeah, it was a great fight from both teams, man. Andre, I'm curious to hear what you have to say about this game.
Yeah, I was on the call for this game.
Yeah.
And first off, I don't know how else I could say this. Honestly, I don't. I guess the education only goal takes you so far. I I don't think there's a more arrogant play calling team than Eagle Queens. I could not like just the what other word can I say aside from arrogance?
Disrespectful.
How can how
Disrespectful. 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 It's no way. It's no way. It's 4th and 30. 4th and 30.
one touchdown? One touchdown.
Disrespectful, man. Coach P, we got to talk about that offline.
Baton, y'all are on this stand. Couldn't believe my eyes they didn't punt the ball.
It didn't matter
Yo,
where they were
honestly,
on the field. It didn't matter. It didn't matter where they were on the field. It did not matter. They did not care. If they didn't get it, they kind of had this state of mind where it's like, we're going to stop them anyway.
that's what I'm trying. That is exactly what I'm getting to. That's why I literally have to say it's arrogance. It's arrogance. It's
30.
4th and 30. We're in our own. I think they were on their own 30-yard line. They're like, y'all not gonna score anyway.
Crazy to me.
We might as well make it interesting for fans, I guess.
That's crazy.
This is madness. This is truly madness. You know what it was too? I actually remember it now, Pata. Tell me if I'm wrong. They ran it was like 4th and 30, and they ran like a 15-yard out route.
out. And he threw it. He threw it like, all right, let's just get 15 more yards. We're not trying to get it first. We're okay with this. This is our punt. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's just tremendous. And with a defense like that, I'm not mad at you guys, you know what I'm saying?
Coach,
So
y'all have somebody on that roster who can catch a punt and kick it 20 yards. It's no way. There's no way. You guys got 30 plus kids on that roster, and you telling me put Ty back there, catch the punt and kick the ball. That's wow. And then Dre, it's not like they go for it on 4th. It was 4th and 30. They ran about a 10-yard out. It's not like they're even trying to get the 30 yards.
that's what I'm saying. It was literally like their punt. Like, yeah, let me just get a couple extra yards.
Yeah. It did it twice. They did it twice, and they put Sheepshead in perfect field position where they only had to travel maybe 20 yards, maybe 30 yards. Yeah, that's you're using arrogance. I'll go with your word. That's definitely arrogance. That's definitely having the utmost confidence in your defense. Excuse me. I don't know what else to say. I don't know.
Listen, Bata, real quick, Bata, I see what you're saying, but my story is funnier. So we're just gonna go with my story.
I'll just say that. Okay, so with the 2 first reads. All right, now listen. I listen. I definitely understand. It's not you. Like where it's definitely not you. It was 4th and 30. Like I think that's the point that you're missing. 4th and 30. Everyone is definitely expecting a punt, regardless of your read. Yeah, I feel like you made a great read, the best read that you could have on that play. Great
throw too. It was a really good throw.
Good throw, good spot. It's just the fact that the coaching staff has that much confidence in the defense, to not punt the ball.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And just want to give a huge shout out to Elijah Thompson as well, number 6. Had a tremendous game. He was the one who scored the touchdown. Mac will be back in just a second, so we're gonna rock out with just me. And y'all know, one of my favorite players on both teams. First of all, Khalil Holder on defense was absolutely tremendous, flying all over the field. And just a huge shout out to everyone on Eagle Queens completing this undefeated season, beating the number 2 seed FJM twice in one season. And on the FJM side, I wish Mac was here for this one, but my God, Jacob Reed, man. Jacob Reed, number 5. Oh, he's back, thank God. Because you probably know who I'm talking about. Yo, who's my favorite player on FJM, Mac?
Five, Reed, Jacob Reed. Yeah, yeah.
That is one of man. All I'm saying is I hope he made certain All-Star games. That's all I'm gonna say. There's a couple All-Star games. Hopefully he's invited. That kid is an absolute dog, man. Like he just flies he just flies all over the field making plays. And it doesn't matter what the situation was. Of course, the game was on a knife's edge this whole time. But Jacob Reed, it was just a tremendous effort from him and the whole entire defense from the Sharks. I'm sure I'm missing some people. Again, there's a lot of football this weekend, but
Yeah, I do want to shout out
yeah, go ahead.
Elijah Thompson. He played in the Rising Stars Bowl. He had a great game. I think he was the only kid that scored in the game.
Exactly. Yep.
Raheem Pfeiffer played a good game as well. Number 11, I'm not sure of his name on Eagle 3.
Oh yeah, that's Khalil Holder. Yeah, like as you were going, I actually shouted him out. Like Khalil was tremendous. Pretty sure he was the one who had the big sack. I'm pretty sure.
What year is he in?
Khalil is unfortunately a senior. Well, I say unfortunately just because we're selfish and we want to watch y'all play
Yeah,
football.
one more year of him. Yeah, he had a great game, man. Flying around, making plays. I saw him getting riled up, getting his teammates going. That was great to see. You know what's funny? I want to shout out number 21 from Sheepshead.
Yes, the BJ Macklin.
Yeah,
BJ Macklin.
Yeah. Sophomore, he showed amazing bright spots in this game. That was the first time me actually getting to see him run the ball or get touches. That was great to see him play that well. That was amazing. I was looking forward to seeing number 17 from Eagle 3 because I saw the first game.
Right.
Yeah, I saw the first game. Is that the freshman?
That is the freshman. That is the 2A leader in receiving touchdowns.
I was looking forward to seeing him. I knew that it wasn't going to be much throwing the ball because of the weather. 30-degree weather. It was a little windy as well. But I was really looking forward to seeing him get going. But yeah, man. Overall, I think it was a great. Chiefs and Grady was crazy in the. Yeah, I think overall was a great game. Both coaching staffs getting fired up for the game. That was great to see. Getting the players all worked up in only 6 games. Wow, yeah, man. That kid has a bright future at Eagle 3. I heard Eagle 3 had a JV quarterback that was pretty good, so I'm sure he'll be in good hands moving forward. So that's very, very interesting. And the O-line, oh man, the line play for Eagle 3. Kids were physical, man. Physical coming off the ball. They was blowing some things up defensively. The defensive line for Eagle blowing some things up. That was impressive to see. All in all, definitely those 2 teams deserve to be in the 2A championship, and it showed 6-0. If you look at the scores from both teams going against the other teams in that division, the scores get really, really ugly. So for this game to be 6-0, it kind of showed you that both teams deserve to be there.
No, absolutely, man. So again, huge congratulations to the 2A champions, Eagle 3. That's actually a good question. Mac, are you going to do a final power rankings?
It's impossible to do it now because it would literally just kind of go in order because Curtis would, they won it, and then Erasmus would be two. Same thing for every division because everything is already said and done. We should have we should have did the power rankings. Well, I should have done the power rankings the week before the playoffs, the quarterfinals. But I am going to do a power rankings for next season. Hopefully, we can drop that soon. This is crazy that we're at the season finale, man. I remember when we was at week one. This was crazy, and we was looking forward to certain weeks. Yeah, this is kind of crazy. Definitely enjoyed this experience.
Absolutely, man. And let's just get to the final game. And honestly, one of the more exciting games as well. Like this 1A championship between Grady and Jamaica. It was really a great game of football to watch. 12-8, Grady with the late comeback. And there's honestly only one player to talk about at the beginning, and it's my guy, Leon
All right.
Borak,
Yeah, man.
number 4.
Yeah.
I mean, the interview is gonna come out. I don't know if there's any Grady guys. We did a great interview with the head coach and with Bro Borak. I'm trying to find the place for it to like post it. I just got a lot going on this week. I don't know if you guys noticed. I'm literally doing a game tomorrow as well. Did a game today. Um, Mac, I mean, you're on the call with us. Can you just talk about this Iron Man? Hold on, real quick. Would you believe this is Leon's first and only season playing football?
No. Who number 4?
Number 4.
Wow, man. So what he was playing soccer or rugby before this? He got to be playing rugby before this.
I that's a really good question actually.
He had to be playing some
He
kind of
must
sport.
have been actually.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
not sure exactly where Leon is from. I'm not only be disrespectful. He sounded like he had an accent, so it's a good question.
Yeah, he had to
I
play
wonder
some
if he played rugby before, because
maybe
he's too good of a football player, right?
martial arts, something combative. It had to be something combative. The kid is tough. He played both ways. Wow, he went to Murrow? Whoa. Wow, the kid went to Murrow.
Sorry, what's Murrow? I'm not familiar.
Oh, I'm sorry. So Murrow is the school literally across the street from Midwood Field. Murrow doesn't have a football team. Actually, Murrow just started introducing some sports to their school. They didn't really have. It was not really a sports school. It's more of a academic. That kind of. My sister actually goes there. Kind of like an academic school. They just started a basketball team, I believe. They don't have football. From what I remember, the kids that went to Murrow, to art school. Yes, thank you, Nathan.
Oh,
The kids that went to Murrow, I think if you go to Murrow, I thought you're supposed to play at Midwood, but I guess things sure. I'm not. Maybe he transferred into Grady, or maybe he goes to Murrow and plays at Grady. The kid was phenomenal. Both sides of the ball, played quarterback, and then to see this guy making plays, I think he was. I couldn't even tell if he was at safety or linebacker. He was coming down like he was at linebacker, but then he caught a pick like he was at safety. So I'm super confused. I saw him at 2 different positions at different spots of the game. Needed a test. Yeah. Murrow's a pretty good school. Just an overall athlete. So if this is his first year playing football, shout out to that kid. Murrow kids play at Grady. I didn't know that. All right, so yeah.
I'm sorry. Yes, he did say that he doesn't go to Grady. Excuse me. I should have told you that. Yes, he said it in the interview. I
Wow.
forgot. I didn't realize it didn't click because I wasn't familiar with the school Murrow.
Yeah, it's right across the
I
street from
think
Midwood.
that's what he said to me. Yeah.
Yeah, so Murrow's right across the street from Midwood. So I guess school does you can go to a nearby school and play for that school. So I guess Murrow kids, for the sports that Murrow doesn't have, they can play at Grady. So Grady definitely got a steal with that kid from Morrow. I think that actually might help Grady's program out moving forward. And he's a pitcher. Wow, man, makes sense. All right, playing quarterback.
What?
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice to know. Kid's a pitcher. Yeah, and he played safety, but he was coming down, making some amazing tackles. But it makes sense for him to be a pitcher and also be the quarterback. He played a really solid game.
Yeah, and just, he scores he scores the go-ahead touchdown. Then he dusts himself off, gets the game-clinching interception. I mean, what a way to go out in your first and only season of football.
I know.
Like, it's just incredible stuff. And, I definitely do want to give a shout out to Jamaica, especially because Jamaica, and my apologies to Jamaica, because I don't think I stressed this enough on the call, but Jamaica taking out Transit Tech is just tremendous. Transit was rolling over everyone, and they did play them. Jamaica played Transit close in the first matchup,
Yeah, 8-0.
but yeah, but for Jamaica to take the drive over to Brooklyn from Queens and to get a win in the semifinals, and then to have a lead for the majority of this football game. Zucci Jam Veneer and freshman Jordan Brown, Ethan Thompson. I mean, how many times would we say Ethan Thompson, number five's name?
Yeah, he's a good ball player.
Yeah, it's just a tremendous effort, and I'm gonna be very frank here. I'm sure some people were like, "Hey, it's 1A football. Let's just wait until the grand finale." But let me tell you something. These numbers rivaled the 2A game.
It did. It did.
They were literally, we're talking like 25 less viewers, if that.
Yep.
So good football is being played all across New York City. And, of course, we don't play favorites, but for those who are familiar with New York City and, Grady High School is such a prominent staple in Coney Island. It is cool to see them win a championship. Like, what do you think, Mac?
Yeah, man. I was excited for Grady when we started talking about the 1A a couple weeks ago, and I found out Grady was having a successful season. Um, I was kind of rooting for them at one point, man, and to see them in the playoff game, and then Jamaica being the underdogs and winning and getting into that game. That was an amazing season for them. I think both teams moving forward is going to start, getting some more talent in their buildings and competing. I'm really excited to see Jamaica, Grady, and Transit Tech actually. All three of those schools. I think it's a good look for them.
No, absolutely. So congratulations to the 1A champions, the Grady Falcons out in Coney Island. You know what, Mac? With my half a voice here, we're gonna call it a season. It's a coronation on Saturday. I think it's gonna be a great celebration. Please hold on. I have to check the weather. Please, please, please. Okay, it's cloudy as long as it's not gonna rain. Thank
Yeah,
God.
no rain. Yeah, no rain. No rain.
Um, I really like this part of the podcast, honestly, because there's 50 somewhat people in here, and I feel like, you know, it's just I feel like, of course, the top is so important, the Curtises, the E Halls, the Tottenvilles, right? But it really is the lowest division to the top division that is the foundation of everything for New York City football and everything in general. Like, there's less people here, right? Oh, we're not talking about Curtis and E-Hall now. But you guys are the ones that really keep it going. Why? Because even though the Curtis and E-Hall fans aren't watching your games, you're watching the Curtis E-Hall game. You're watching the Brooklyn Tech Fort Hamilton game. So I just want to give a shout out to everyone in 1A and 2A football. Honestly, everyone who puts on a helmet, man, you know, it is it's really like a band of brothers. And I can't even lie, like you know, we're gonna get into basketball season, and of course New York City basketball is tremendous and it's gonna do great numbers as well. So many storylines. But there's just nothing like football, like I think, I'll let Mac have his segment for sure, but like even us being in our 30s, I feel like it's so much easier for us to have a connection with these 14 to 17-year-olds just because we all play football. Like there's a saying, it's like you don't know what it is, how it feels until you put on the helmet, you know what I'm saying? Like, and we're all alumnus of that. Like we've all put the helmet on. We've all had great successes. We've all had great failures. We all know what it feels like to go run into a hit in 20-degree weather, especially up in the Northeast. So there's really nothing like football, and there's really nothing like New York City football, man. Me and Coach Mac, this season did not start in September for us. We were talking about the Rising Stars game, and I don't even know, man. It was like April. Like I don't know when we were like, oh, let's live stream it and everything like that. But
Yeah.
to see those numbers, to be in the booth with the two of you guys, man, it just felt right. You know what I'm saying? Like it really felt like a storybook ending. Like
Yeah.
when I said, oh, like, can we make it to 3,000? I literally said, I don't know if you remember me saying it, Mac, but I literally was like, hey, it's probably going to be a long shot, but like,
Yeah.
let's see if we can make it to 3,000. And
Yeah.
I swear in 15 minutes, it jumped from 24 to 28 to 3,000. And I don't take that number. Obviously, it's just numbers. I don't live and die off of numbers or anything like that, but it just feels like New York City deserved it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a tremendous season coming on here every Monday has just been awesome. Just the energy you guys have given us, like when you see us in the streets. Where's Coach Mac? Where's Jared? Andre? It's just awesome. And, I always say that, I said it on the live stream, you know, live entertainment isn't a luxury. It's a necessity, and I think everyone really understands why it's a necessity. Like when you watch a video, if you watch Lyric diving for the ball, if you watch Bo Rock catch the interception after the fact, it doesn't elicit the emotions that watching it live does. You know what I'm saying? And I had a moment where I walked out the booth and Evan Dukes, from Curtis number 5, his dad was in the stands, and I just gave him a hug, bro, and I was just like, "Yo, Leon in the chat, what took you so long, man? What's good, my guy?"
Man.
Shout out to you. That interview's gonna go up later this week. Um, but I just gave him a hug, and I was just like, "Yo, like, congratulations, man!" And he was just so grateful that we've been able to do what we could do over here at Sage Media, and you know just in my head, like I'm always kind of like, what's next? What's next? But definitely have to take a moment to appreciate this. Just the way I'm just like, dang, I wish I could have had this ready to go for the class of 2024. But class of 2025, we got to get your senior season. We think about players like Tyshawn Bent, Corey Brown, freaking Amir Morrow, Kendu Brown, Kendall Brown, some of these Travis Gamble, Travis Harris. It's just awesome that we get to see their full story, you know what I'm saying? And unfold right in front of us. They'll get to be on Sage Media for another year or two. And it's just awesome, man. So, thank you everyone for all the support. I know that was long, but Coach Mack, take your time and, last shout outs on the New York Football Talk season 1.
Yeah, man. When you contacted me and Jared with this idea, I didn't imagine it being this. I didn't really know what to imagine. I knew it was a great idea. I was like, yo, that's a great idea. I don't know how it's going to turn out. Didn't really know what to expect. And then after, I think, episode 2 or 3, then it started to become like, this is what people are looking forward to seeing. And it's like, yo, Monday, like, it's still happening Monday, right? And I'm like, yeah. But you're looking forward to seeing us talk. And then early on in the season, I feel like we were kind of feeling things out. I know we teetered around with having guests on. We had like some guests at the beginning of the season, and then it went to just me, you, and Jared every single Monday, rolling for 2.5. Sometimes there was one night where it was just me and you. We went to 3 hours.
Didn't make any. I still don't understand that.
Yo, I'm looking at the time and I'm like, yo, we've been going for 3 hours. We were 3 hours in, and it was like 68 people still tuned in at the 3-hour mark. That's when I kind of knew, like, man, Andre really put together a thing. Like I said, I didn't know what to expect. I don't know if I expected this. And then to translate to me being outside and going to games, and then people quoting and bringing up things that's talked about on Mondays, it's like, yo, you guys are really tuning in. Coaches, I went to a Brooklyn coaches meeting for the Riley game, and to see other coaches around the city, like, yo, I heard about what you said about us. I'm like, yo, you like, at first I'm like, oh, you tune in to the shows like every Monday. I'm like, wow, I didn't expect you to be tuned in every Monday. That was like, and then just to see how this season went. This season, wow. I've been coaching. I was coaching the PSAL for 6 years. I can honestly say, yeah, this is probably the most iconic season that I've witnessed. And then, I mean, you have guys like me and guys that's older than me that their games are on VHS or their games are on CD somewhere. Quality isn't that good. We don't even have VCRs to even watch tapes. I know some of the kids are like, maybe what is a VCR? So for you to provide this platform where it's not even needed for a CD or VCR, or even more modern, a flash drive, where at everybody's fingertips, years from now, 10 years from now, yeah, the 90s guys, yeah, man. Guys can literally say, yo, you want to see me play? You want to see one of my games? And go right on YouTube. YouTube isn't going anywhere. YouTube they're going to keep evolving. YouTube is going to be around for decades. So for kids to have the ability to maybe have their children someday, or have family members that, it doesn't live in a state, doesn't live close, they can go online and pull up games because you gave a platform for those kids to shine and be displayed, and you taking the time out to learn these kids' names, even backgrounds of some of these kids. You just spoke about Leon, and just to know that this is his first year playing football. The kids appreciate it, man, and I hope these kids aren't taking it for granted, because it's guys like me that wish you were around when I was in high school. You were around doing this while I was in high school. It puts them in a special place. They feel recognized and appreciated before they even get to the collegiate level. The platform and the things you're doing for these children is something I've never seen. When I first heard about Sage Media, I thought it was just an Eagle thing. And then out of nowhere, it seems like I heard about Sage Media, and then maybe 3 months later, you were like different places. Not only Eagle, it just wasn't Eagle. Now it's this team, that team, this. And then I'm like, damn, man. And when we finally met up, I'm like, yo, this guy has something special going on. And I pray that you continue this. And I see the company and the brand getting bigger. You guys are doing 2 games this season, Andre. The work ethic, man, that you put in, I don't think gets recognized by people around the city, man. You started this, and now you're at a point where you're streaming 2 games simultaneously. That's kind of crazy, man. And for you to do that this early in your career with Sage Media, I can only imagine. I can't imagine what is to be developed for years to come, man.
Yeah, you kind of saw behind the scenes. I think this yesterday was like the first time you really kind of saw the
Yo,
whole thing, right?
oh my God, I'm seeing this is plugged into here, and yo, it's just a lot going on, man, and you're kind of doctoring it all up. Yo, seriously though, seriously, the city does need to cut a check, and I think they will. I don't think that's even I don't think that's far fetched. I think that is. And then I'm subscribed to Sage Media, so every time I turn on YouTube, Sage Media pops up on my screen. I'm seeing Sage Media is covering volleyball games. Yeah, like yeah. So the city recognizes what's going on. You're in a unique lane, kind of almost by yourself. And listen, I'm glad to be a part of this in the facets that I was in this football season, and looking forward to MSG, man. Yeah, Stage Media is the new MSG.
Yeah, man, and I really appreciate it, Mac. And again, it really started like you said, it started with Eagle Academy, but it didn't start with a camera, man. It started with a notepad and a, a notepad and a pen. I was just taking the stats for Eagle. Literally, I was taking the stats for him. I've been with Eagle since I think like 2016.
Wow.
So on the jacket and on all of the merchandise, it says established in 2022. But honestly, I really think that Sage Media was established in 2006. Honestly, when I'm not ready to cry. Chill out. I think it was established in 2006. Just playing ball in Long Island, and you know, I just remember always running back and looking at whatever websites and all that kind of stuff, and hoping to see my name or whatever. And then I felt like, when I went away to school and I came back and started getting involved in New York City, I didn't know so much about New York City. All I knew was I wanted to beat Cardinal Hayes, Coach Ed. like I wanted to beat Cardinal Hayes. I wanted to beat freaking Xavier, and Cardinal Hayes actually ended my high school career. Fun fact. So Jeremiah Cobina, never forget that name. Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to. When I came back, I kind of just saw like the landscape. It kind of looked the same. Just like you guys were saying in the chat. I played on varsity. Excuse me, on MSG varsity. My senior year, we played at Fordham, and it was cool. We lost. I didn't even want to rewatch it. Yeah, Kobina. I should have to look. I've never looked up Kobina's stats. I'm sure he had a great career. He was Mac. This kid, Jeremiah Kobina, was one of the fastest kids I've ever seen on a football field. Like seriously. Um, but yeah, man, it just kind of started from there. Like I felt like the landscape. There was no digital landscape, especially for New York City. And you know, I'm a Long Island guy, but I definitely felt like Brooklyn in New York City have kind of adopted me, honestly. And the brand has been growing, and I will take 2% of the credit as my computer's about to die, so we got to wrap this up. I will take 2% of the credit for this season. Because I do believe it's not a coincidence that this was the greatest football season. I'm gonna be honest with you, Mac. I'm gonna I think me, you, and Jared, TYJ Visuals shot by LJ. I think we deserve 2% because 98%, 97% are the kids, and then 1% are the coaches, let's say, right? So let's flip that. Let's take 1% and 2% for the coaches, let's say, right? I really think that since we built a bigger stage for them, New York City and these kids had it in them. You know what I'm saying? Like they had it in them. They're from New York. You know what I'm saying? Like we act different, we walk different, we talk different, all that kind of stuff. And you give them a bigger stage and they're gonna show out. Mac, 27-26, 37-36, 6-0, 12-8. That's not a coincidence.
It's crazy, man.
That is not a coincidence, man. And it's just tremendous. So I just want to give a huge shout out to everyone in New York City. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure New York Football Talk is back in some kind of capacity next year. In the bottom left of the screen, you see the Sage Standout Game of the Week. Going to make sure that it's back bigger and better. And, again, Mac, really can say that you're really one of my friends, man, for real. Really appreciate all the work and you've done and letting me be alongside it and agreeing to come on this show for 2 hours every goddamn Monday, missing the freaking Monday Night Football, all that. So we're gonna call that a season, man. Benjamin in the chat, appreciate you, man. Ed, big shout out to you, Ed, for real, man. It means a lot, like, someone as that holds your stand your excuse me, that has your title in this community as being a head coach, excuse me, a coach at Cardinal Hayes, one of the top programs in all of New York. For you to be giving that support, for you to come out to games. Ed was at the JFK South Shore game. It almost gave us a bit of validation for real, man. So appreciate you for sure. Everything that you've done, man. I got the shirt. I'm gonna wear the shirt to the gym tomorrow if I can make it there.
All right.
But that's it for New York Football Talks. We will be back. The Riley Classic this Saturday. Yes. Shout out to Iona Prep, New York State champions.
Hey, CJ.
Thank you, CJ, because that was a little disrespectful us not mentioning that. So
Yeah,
that's my apologies. There was a lot going on this weekend. So shout out to Iona Prep. For real. And shout out to New York City, man. So for real, I've signed out 8 times, but this is the final salute, man.